Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I'm George. We're all George. So, the emergency Fed meeting is coming next week. Bitcoin holders better brace for it. What is going to be discussed in this meeting? Why is it an emergency? Well, let's discuss. And let's discuss what else is going on in the world of crypto. So, smash the like, subscribe to the channel. Hopefully you guys made my morning stream. If you didn't, welcome. So this is my normal 11:30 or 11:45 stream. Make sure you hit that notification bell and follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and check out all the latest news, article, and guides at CryptosRUs.com. Because it is Friday. Happy Friday. I won't be having a night stream tonight. Just FYI. So just 2 rather than 3 streams, which is a lot already. All right, let's do this. Welcome. I am feeling a bit tired. That's because I had a wild day yesterday. Had a lot of stuff to do. In fact, and you guys are curious, I was attending an auto show, so I got a lot of footage, was talking a lot. I will be posting a lot of those videos on my car channel, Drivers Only. So stay tuned for those videos. And plus, I'll probably put out another video or 2 on my other channels. I am George. I have some thoughts I want to share, and Boardroom Live. So there's going to be a lot of other videos this weekend in case you are bored and there's nothing to do. Although Super Bowl Sunday's this week, so I don't know if you're going to be that bored. But regardless, I'm just going to throw that out there. All right. So, Bitcoin is at 43.4 right now, so obviously still kind of hanging around. Last night was a little bit lower. This morning was a little bit higher, but overall, it's just kind of holding pattern right now, right? Not as stable as this period, which was a week ago. Remember, when Bitcoin stair-stepped up, Bitcoin was just like solid, no movement, because people wanted to know what the Fed was going to say, or I should say, not what the Fed was going to say, but what the CPI data was going to say. And then afterwards, now we've got some crazy volatility, right, up and down. But the good news is we're still holding above this 43,000 mark, which is like a kind of like a temporary support, right? So we're kind of holding above there. And the good news is that, yeah, overall we're still on the uptrend, right? However, obviously, recently, because of CPI data, a lot of speculation of what's coming, right? In fact, that leads me to this emergency meeting that is now prompted. So normally, if you look at the economic calendar, it'll kind of tell you some of these things. I mean, some of these meetings are pre-planned, right? Obviously, a lot of the data that's coming out, they're on a schedule, but you see Monday, February 14th, nothing scheduled. There's supposed to be nothing happening on Monday. Yet, this was brought to my attention. There's going to be a closed board meeting on February 14th, which is Monday. And this will be a closed meeting of the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System. Okay, and this is what they're going to review right here. Review and determination by the Board of Governors of the advance and discount rates to be changed by the Federal Reserve banks. So, and you see right here, advance notice of a meeting under expedited procedure. So basically, it sounds like this was not planned, but now they want to get together because there are a lot of other Fed chairmen from around the states. They're all up in arms about the CPI data. Some are very adamant that rates needs to happen and needs to happen now and needs to be accelerated and we need to have a whole bunch of stuff done right away. But there are some that are saying, well, we can't go too fast, right? But it does seem like the Board of Governors does want to get together and at least talk about it so they can prepare themselves and possibly get a lead on what's going to be announced in March, right? So this is coming February 14th on Monday. And I don't know, the markets is not really reacting. If you look at the equities market, Dow is barely down. S&P is barely down. NASDAQ is down slightly, but still not too bad. So the traders of Wall Street is not really reacting a whole lot to this. And I don't even know if this closed board meeting if there's going to be like, the minutes, reports of what will be talked about here, if that's going to be released. I don't know, because this is a closed board meeting. So maybe nothing will get released until March, right? But this is coming. This is coming. So bottom line is this, right? Bottom line is this. We have a lot of fear about CPI, about inflation, which we think will continue. I think almost everyone thinking it's going to continue. But does that mean that we as investors should just halt what we're doing and basically just wait it out and wait until things get better? Well, that's one strategy. And if you're trying to preserve your wealth, I guess that's not a bad strategy, because some have followed that strategy recently. But for everyone else, including Wall Street, life moves on, right? People are basically predicting what's going to come. People are predicting, or not predicting, but pricing things in already. And many are taking advantage of the situation, because although we had a pretty good rally for the last few weeks or so, things are still down versus November, December, right? So there are a lot that are still taking advantage of the situation and realizing that we don't know. We don't know what's going to come. We don't know what's going to come in March and then afterwards, right? How many rate hikes, how much they're going to go up by. But it doesn't mean that we should just all be fearful and just everyone sit on the sidelines and everyone panic sell, right? That's not the way to do it. So there are a lot that are coming back and basically buying back in. Maybe not all the way, but definitely, DCAing and taking advantage of the winners that have been sold off. So we're seeing a lot of that, and I'm going to show you what I mean. It's on both sides too, both sides. Now, here's something interesting, and I did not know this because this was before I was born. Maybe some of you guys knew about this. But speaking of all the rate hikes, okay, CPI rose from a staggering 5% to 14%. So we're at 7.5%, which sounds really bad. But between 1977 and 1980, inflation number went from 5% to 14%. 14. And the Fed raised the rates from 6% to 20% within that range, all the way up to 20%. Think about it. We're at near zero right now, okay? And well, back then it went up to 20%. But here's the kicker. While that happened, the S&P 500 rallied 275%. It kept going and going and going and went 7 years past 1980 until there was a big market correction in 1987. So, to put things into context, not every time that the Fed raises rates aggressively to combat inflation means that the markets have to suffer. I mean, this is ridiculous compared to even now, right? Inflation going up to 14%, rates going up to 20%, yet the S&P 500 still rallied 275% during that time. So, puts things into perspective that it's not all doom and gloom. Not every time that we go through this is bad, right? All right, so taking a look at this headline, U.S. equity funds see the biggest inflow in 6 weeks. I just got done saying that, right? A lot of traders, a lot of investors are not just sitting idle. They're not just like sitting on the sidelines, right? They're taking advantage of the beautiful dips that we had, the beautiful discounts that are there. And this goes for stocks and, of course, crypto. There's a lot of crypto on discount. If you look at the heat map today, all turned red. Doesn't look very good, right? But you know what? You got to look at it glass half full, meaning that rather than look at it like, okay, this is so depressing and everything is down and we're going down and there may be more volatility and we're not seeing that blow off top yet, and why am I not a millionaire, right? This is the way to look at, well, this is how you build that wealth. You got to buy when things are low. You got to buy when things are down. You don't build wealth buying on the way up. You buy when things are down and on the way down, right? So there are a lot of discounts out there from a lot of great projects, including, of course, Bitcoin, right? So you got to view it that way, that, yeah, we may be seeing some more volatility. We may see more up and downs, and there may be more uncertainty along the way. But this is how you build wealth. You buy when things are low, not when things are high, right? All right. Now, with that said, to kind of support this, Willie Woo tweeted this about whales versus retail investors. And this is kind of interesting. Ever since 2019, actually, if you look at whales, which is whales above 1,000 Bitcoins, the number of addresses above 1,000 Bitcoin actually has been going down. And this is actually very surprising to me. And if you look at this other line, which is retail investors, addresses holding under 10, actually moving, and it crossed somewhere in 2019. So this actually argues that retail is still leading the way and continues to grow, right? And these guys are the long-term holders. The ones that get in and truly understand, they're like, well, I'm not going to sell. I'm not going to sell Bitcoin for anything. It's the best hedge against inflation. It's the best store of value, right? And everything that we're seeing, this is just, this is just what it is. It's the price of admission, but we're going to continue to hold, right? And that's why, if you look at this measures the number of holders that have been holding above 1 year, which is the blue line, and you can see that it continues to move upwards. Continues to move upwards and upwards and upwards and upwards, right? So there are a lot of people that are just in it forever. The holders are just in it forever. And that's very, very, very positive, right? This definitely helps make Bitcoin more scarce over time and curbs the volatility, even though we had some, right? But the volatility now is definitely not as bad as previous years or previous cycles, where we've seen like 20% swings left and right almost daily, sometimes for weeks. Right now, it's a lot less. Yes, we still have our corrections, but it's a lot less than before, and a lot of that is due to the holders. So, good stuff. Good stuff. What else is good? Well, I've shown this time and time again. The liquid supply keeps going up, right? There's no other way to explain it other than, the holders keep holding, right? And of course, we have some good institutions like Michael Saylor's of the world, right? And Tesla and Block now, and all the mining companies, right? And even KPMG recently, and Mass Mutual. All these guys are long-term holders too, contributing to the liquid supply going up, because once these guys buy, along with the retail investors, they pretty much hold and just keep holding and holding and holding, which is why this continues to go up despite the fact the price has come down. So long-term vision, long-term view, not short-term views. Okay. This is also measuring dormant flow. This is from On-Chain College. Dormant flow is an interesting metric that looks at the age of the Bitcoins being spent. And whenever you have this certain level where the age of the Bitcoin being spent is very, very low, right? And you can see here the last 3 times Bitcoin actually went on a crazy run was when this metric actually showed that Bitcoin bounced from this level, which my camera is cutting off, but you can see we just bounced off that level once again. Very interesting. Very interesting, right? So there's that. And then lastly, I want to show that, DeFi coming back up about 10%, close to 10% today. And you can see it's down a little bit from its peak, but DeFi is definitely here to stay. We have more than $200 billion worth of tokens and coins locked into DeFi projects. And this is definitely going to curb volatility as it gets bigger and help people hodl even longer, which is great. This is what we want, right? So DeFi is also coming back in full force, and this will continue to grow. This will, at 200 billion, really means nothing. 500 billion, a trillion will only be the start. All right. Those are the stuff I really want to talk about at first. There's a few other things about projects I want to talk about. Number one is, this is not a project, but I think it's relevant because I talked about this morning. Expedia CEO says that the Metaverse doesn't pose a real threat to what he calls a real-verse travel. So Expedia actually had talked about this morning. They had pretty good earnings, and the CEO did say that even though travel is restricted, right? Things are improving and people are looking to travel more, right? And it's interesting that he says this, that metaverses doesn't pose a real threat to what he calls realverse, which I think is true. I think most people would still love to travel, right? But here's the thing: most people do not. Most people, what do? They spend 24/7 on their phones, and a lot of times on their phone, they're really basically traveling without traveling, right? Looking at clips, looking at virtual destinations, looking at what's going on around the world, right? So in that sense, if you look at it that way, if everything virtual on our phones is already part of the metaverse, right? Well, you could say that is posing a threat to the real verse. If you look at it that way, right? Most of us are glued to our phones 24/7. We're kind of there. We're kind of there if you think about it. But I just want to throw my thoughts around that. All right, Algorand, pretty big news. Algorand is planning on coming out with a new chain that's EVM compatible. And this may be announced during this ETH Denver conference that will be coming up pretty soon. So they're calling it a C3, and basically it's an EVM compatible chain, but it works a little bit differently. So there's an article that's on CryptosRUs.com if you want to learn more about it. But this is a way to basically bring more compatibility. Yet it doesn't really operate like a traditional bridge. In fact, it's more like a trustless bridge that will add compatibility between Algorand and Ethereum. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. We're seeing a lot of this recently. A lot of projects are now adding EVM compatible chains because now they've realized that even though Ethereum can't scale, and at least not right now, and suffers with a lot of fees and so forth, right? But EVM is definitely still the virtual machine and smart contract platform that most app makers prefer, right? So why not try to draw them in, right? So we're seeing a lot of that. I know IOTA just released one recently. Nervos released one. Algorand is about to release one. So we'll see. We'll see where this goes. All right. Well, what else is there? Drake. I mentioned this morning. Drake is betting $1.3 million on the Bengals versus Rams game that's coming up. But this is in Bitcoin, though. In Bitcoin, which is interesting. So I wonder how much he actually holds if he's betting 1.3 million Bitcoin. Is he just going to convert it to make the bet? Or does he actually have a whole lot more that he already holds? Don't know. But speaking of rappers, Gala, a lot of you guys know, has been on a pretty good run because Snoop Dogg is involved and partner up with them. In fact, a lot of people still question, what's the point of NFTs? I don't get it. Well, one of the things Snoop Dogg is doing is he's selling an NFT based on his new album. But if you buy it through the NFT version, right? If you buy the NFT version, you actually get 3 more tracks versus the regular album. So there you go. There's a use case for it, right? NFTs it's not just pictures, although most of them are pictures, but you could layer in benefits. That's the missing link that a lot of people are missing. There are benefits that you get from them. Not just the benefit of having a pretty picture, but there are benefits that you can get, lifetime benefits, because it's a smart contract. And you can easily keep track of it and verify it at all times. No worries about counterfeits or anything like that because it's all verifiable on the blockchain. So there you go. All right, that's pretty much it. Overall, kind of still in the holding period right now, right? This Fed meeting, this emergency Fed meeting on Monday probably won't help things, but right now the market is just kind of shrugging it off. So that's pretty good. Pretty good. All right, guys, let's do some Q&A. Why are there so many ADA haters in the chat? It's always been like that. You must be new because there's always a lot of ADA haters and a lot of ADA lovers. It's just 50-50. It's always broken up like that. It's the same thing with XRP now. Recently, there's been more XRP fans. For a long time, I didn't hear about XRP being asked at all, like for years. Now it's coming back. All right, let's see here. Can you analyze Mooney? I'm gonna say no, but just to kind of bring it up. Well, relative new project. It's a DAO on Ethereum, no market cap, low volume. Send a moon DAO to space. Okay, that's just ridiculous. I'm going to turn that off right now. How's your DeFi going? DeFi is actually much better. Like, for example, one of the biggest projects I'm staking in is DeFi Kingdom. So I'm glad to see Jewel has come up from its low. Harmony has been coming up, right? So it's definitely making staking worth it. So I think the APR dropped to about 200 something percent. Still not bad, but I started at like 400%. But that's the thing, I have not touched it. Not touched my Jewel, not touched my Harmony, not touched my UST because of it. So that's why I argue DeFi is great. Great for making people stay in the game and not make irrational trades or anything. Because, hey, while you're holding, you're getting rewards, you're seeing it, hit your wallets is good. It's good overall. So, pretty good so far. Enchanted says, once mainstream adoption happens, you can spend your crypto via different tokens, like gift cards. Yeah, you could. Yeah. I guess you could look at it that way. Is Cadena better than Sol or Avalanche? You could argue in some ways it is, but it's still very early. It's not better in terms of overall dApps or the ecosystem, but it could get there someday. But it depends on how you're looking at it, I guess. Okay, there's a lot of back and forth with XRP now. So there's always, like every single live chat, you got this, you got one side that hates XRP and one side that loves it, and then you got one side that hates Cardano and one side that likes it. It's every time. As long as it's, alright, just leave it at that. Thoughts on SFM? Safe Moon? I don't support it at all. Shibrarium and Bone Token. Well, I think it's going to help. It's definitely going to help Shib. They're trying to make it so that they're not just a meme coin. So Shibrarium is their layer 2. So yeah, it's good. It's good for them. Bayo, I already answered your question. So thoughts on Minty Swap? Okay. Nightshade, I don't know anything about Minty Swap. How do companies and projects like Vauld really offer high interest rates? Well, they do it both sides. You realize I call them lending companies for a reason. Because a lot of people or institutions borrow. That's how a lot of these projects do it. Also, they have connections with the projects themselves. For example, Vauld recently opened up a 12% APR with Polygon because they have connection with Polygon. And Polygon is willing to do that to get more people to get involved with Matic tokens and staking it. So there's a lot of ways they can do it, but some do it better than others. Can you analyze Uno Insurance. I don't like any crypto insurance place, so I just don't trust them. I just don't trust them. Alliance Video Productions. Appreciate that, man. I do. Stop asking about Minty Swap. Thoughts on Terra Luna? I'm all in. I've talked a lot about Terra over the years. Not years, I take that back. Over a lot. No, it is years. 2021 and 2022, yeah, years. So I'm a big fan, and I'm using Anchor. And there's so many people that keep panicking about Anchor's reserves for their 20%. Like they're hounding me on emails like, oh man, what is gonna go on? You know, what's gonna happen? You know, should I pull out? I mean, like, just chill. Nothing's gonna happen. Worst thing is the rates go down. Okay, but Doe already said he's gonna replenish the reserve. So chill the f out. There's so many people that email me, like, you know, I hate to say it, but a lot of them need to chill the f out. Vet outcome equal buy adult coins. Geos, I don't even know where you're going with that. Can you elaborate some more why you didn't like ICP? Because it's not open source. There's an ID system that makes it so that you're basically not anonymous. And I don't like how it pumped up to top 5 when it opened, because they worked with every exchange listed all at once and made it so that it pumped to the moon, and then it crashed right back down. So there's a lot of reasons. Rambly Roy, appreciate that. B. Wallace, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Joseph, thoughts on SLP? SLP should do better going forward, because Axie changed their token economics, so they're going to remove some games, which I think they did already from Axie. That should make it so that SLP should be less inflationary. But today, obviously not doing too good. But overall, you could see right here how it started coming up. Yeah. Around here is when they listed that. So let's see if it come back up. But one of the things that's been holding down Axie is SLP. It keeps inflating because this is one of the rewards that you get within the game. But too many people were just basically, you know, earning SLP and just selling it off. So it was unsustainable. So they made some changes recently. So let's see if it works. But I've always said I like Axie. If you go hold anything, hold Axie over SLP. Let's see. How do I feel about Exxon? I'm not a fan. I don't know. It's not that I'm not I'm not a fan because of this. There's nothing wrong with the project other than I don't know what they're trying to do. I don't know what they're trying to do. Supposedly they're helping some governments create CBDCs, and I mean that's pretty much it. I don't know what they're trying to do. They're not like a traditional chain where they have like a focus, right? We go concentrate on dApps, concentrate being on a currency, concentrate being on a I don't know, a Ripple competitor, right? Like there's no end game. It's just like so open. I don't know what they're doing. Curve DAO, I mean, it's a really good and big DEX for mostly stable coins, so why not? Thoughts on Altcoin Daily's new TV show? Should make a guest appearance. Is it on YouTube or like, because they're actually producers, so are they having a TV show on one of the big channels or on YouTube? I don't know. But could be interesting. I will hold Adam even though I couldn't check the price every day or week. That's how you should do it. Don't check the price every day or every week, right? Or I mean, most people don't even wait that long. Most people check it every like 10 seconds, okay? Or every 5 minutes. So that's just reality, but that's why it seems like time goes so slow in crypto because everyone's checking all the time, right? And any little movement gets very exciting or depressing because, that's just how time is in the crypto world. But if you can wait and not check and come back later, that's the best way to do it. Are you bullish on all these Super Bowl commercials? I don't know what you mean by that. I don't know what being bullish on Super Bowl commercials mean. Lunar. That sounds so familiar. I forgot what they do. Or have I looked at this project? Yeah, when I see this, how many decimal points? More than like 6? I say no. Don't get into it. Band Protocol is a competitor to Chainlink. Basically, they lost all momentum. No one's using them. If you want an Oracle, all right, just go with Chainlink. No one else is close. Thoughts on a new Toyota crossover? What, Corolla Cross? That just looks like a abomination. No. If that's the one you're talking about. I just checked out a new Sequoia yesterday. That's a pretty nice car. And I hate to say it, Toyota is really screwing up with Lexus. I checked out the new Lexus LX600. I was really disappointed with that car. And in fact, the Sequoia is a better SUV now than the LX. As strange as that may seem, but it is better in almost every way. All right. I saw the new WRX. I'm not a fan of it. I don't know who buys WRXs these days. You get a nice Model 3 or a Mustang or whatever. I don't know anyone that buys WRXs anymore, and it looks exactly the same. I saw a prototype yesterday, and it was just like very non-impressive. Can I send you my PC case door design? No, I'm sorry, no. Do you like the new Supras? No, I don't. When I first reviewed one, I thought it was cool, but it's okay, I guess. It's just maybe I'm just too old. It's just not for me anymore. Chainlink is one of my best stablecoin investments. That's an underhanded compliment there. Lewis is okay. That's your opinion. Sheep start with 10 zeros. Yes, and it'll never happen again. All right, guys, I'll let you guys go. Overall, you know what? Market is holding, trying to react. Traders, investors, trying to decide what to do. I take that back. If you're an investor, you already know what to do, right? You continue to hodl. You take advantage of the dips. You take advantage when there are discounts to be had, right? That's what an investor does. But traders are deciding what to do right now. They're not quite sure what to do with the data that came out yesterday. And with this Fed meeting on Monday, it's going to make things worse, make it better, nothing significant. I don't know, nothing burger, right? We don't know. But what we do know is Bitcoin is on the right track. Crypto is on the right track. So we just need to be patient and stay in the game. All right, so happy Friday. I'm not going to be streaming tonight. I will be streaming tomorrow. I don't know about once or twice. I'm going to still stick with twice, but maybe I do one. And I have to pick out a new game to stream tomorrow, too. All right, smash the like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, all right? 11:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.